Okay, another nice day in Bellevue. This is Jim Palmer, and bring in day 9. Today is March 10th, first day of daylight savings time. We sprung ahead last night. Project for today is to continue on with the Goldwing. I got 3 things to get started on, and let me give you a little preview here what we're trying to get done today. Okay, the first thing we have is the lock set that came with the bike. This is the reason why I quit riding it in the beginning. This is the original ignition switch, and it has the original key. I got 1 key with the bike back in 1982, and that's it right there. It wore to the point where it just couldn't work reliably. It would work better when it was warm out, but it just got to the point where it wouldn't work in any of the locks on the bike. The helmet lock, I think it would still work. The shelter lock to get to the gas cap with ignition, it wouldn't work. So I found a guy on eBay. I'll put the details in the posting. He cut new keys off the code, and if you look at the side of the lock in really small letters, see, I can't even see it right there. I'll get a better picture of that. I think that's it. There's the key code right there. Hard to read. Last 3 digits are 312. That matches the number that's on the side of the standard Honda key, right? 312. I think it was like OKY312 is a key code for this bike. Provided that information to this guy on eBay. He cut me 2 new keys, and it solved the key problem. He also engraved the 312 on the side of the key there. So he's a good guy. I mean, these are beautiful. They work on all the locks, solve my problem. Now I just have to put it back together. I removed this. At one point I thought my problem was in the tumbler, so oily, but there's a little brass pin right there. I've been told, I've read or seen on eBay, on YouTube, that if you take these pins out, there's 3 of them around the periphery, then the tumbler will come out. They're not designed to come out on their own. This was a put together and throw away item. But I'll put this back together using a little bit of JB weld, and then the switch, just for grins, I have no reason to think this switch is bad. I bought a new MGO ignition switch for it, so that should go on in replacement of this. The back cover's white instead of black. That's the only difference. So I'll put that together. The other thing I got going, I got a nice set of handlebars, rust-free. They'll polish up really nice. They're better than what was on the bike by far. They haven't been cut off. I got new straps. I got new switches for the clutch lockout and the rear brake, front brake light. I got a new bolt, pivot bolt. I think that's what that is. I think that's for the clutch side. I had to go to aftermarket on those. I'm waiting for an order from Canada, parts and more. And I got some new screws for the headlight to just kind of pretty it up a little bit. And then somewhere around here I got the little tabs that go in the top. So I'm going to go ahead and put that together. And then the last thing I got is the 30-degree banjo bolt. I'm going to put that on, and if everything goes well, I should be able to get to bleeding the brakes today. That would be a really good day. Okay, so here we are with the first thing we're going to do today is I'm going to put this together. So part of what I've done in the recent past, or actually in early days, is I drilled out the stakings that were into the key body. I did that to take this apart, thinking that I could fix the tumbler, but it was the key that was wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this back together. I also remove this plate. It goes right here. All this is going to get put back together with good old JB Weld. I think we'll be all right with that. I've cleaned this with brake cleaner, but there's still oil dripping out of it. I want to make sure I got it as clean as I possibly can before I put it together. And then also put this new switch on it. So, how does the new compare to the old? It's kind of scary, but I'll keep this in case I need to buy another one. It looks about the same. There are some keys in here that go with the switch housing on how it needs to go together. So I'll make sure it's all right before we button her up. You can see there's a skinny end and a fat end. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not a rectangle. It will key in there only one way, which I believe will be has to go like this, backwards. Just so happens I have another one that I bought on eBay. It's a different key. It works though. I have the helmet lock, but I don't have the shelter lock for it. So I'll just put it together the same way as that one is. And that is like that. It keys in there. And then this piece goes on top. So here's another thing that I just learned. So this switch has got this collar around it, and there are 3 little openings here. In order for the lock to fit, come on, get in there. In order for the lock to fit, there's only one position this will go in. You see how it allows the tabs to squeeze in? Now in order to get it to go into the tumbler, right, it's got to fit into there. So the lock needs to be in the accessory position. That means the key in, and then you should be able to take this guy and snap it in. Just like that. There you go. Now you got it. I managed to crack that trying to force it in otherwise, but now it feels just like it should. Okay, so I'll put a little dab of JB over that. It'll be good enough for me. It's in there. It's not going to wobble around. Get good electrical contact. Get oh, it feels nice. Okay. Okay, so here we go, starting with the JB Weld. Should get a nice great consistency going here. Gives you a 4 to 6 hour work time, so we'll get this on. And then we will come back with Okay, here we are with the clutch perch. I wound up with a second one. I found one on eBay. It wasn't quite as faded. Looks like it came off an Interstate. It's got the screw plug and the mirror mount. It's dirty. Before I clean it up, I want to take out the switch for the clutch lockout. So we're going to look at the new one just to see how it locks in there. So it looks like it goes in from this direction in that way. So it's got to come out that direction. There's an index pin on it right there. Okay. Let's take this apart and then go clean it up, and then I'll install this. That came out with no persuasion. It was so easy I put it back in. Anyway, just push it out with a punch. There's the old one. Here's the new one. Go wash this in the sink up in the house. Okay, putting the switch in. It's not as easy as taking the old one out. Okay, so we got like a one-shot deal here with this guy, so let's get it right. So we're going to put this down in here. .932 quarter-inch drive socket. Okay, it's not going down any further than that because the pins are in the way, so I got to go put it on a, probably open a vise up and set it on. Okay, new pivot on this side. There's a new pivot pin, not scratched up yet. New nut, still nice and shiny. Washers are not available. Use the old one. Does look kind of cruddy. Oh well. I'm going to ride this sucker, not show it. Squirt of lithium grease. Okay, jam that's on there, nice new screw, doesn't look bad. Here's another part unwrapping, so this is the front brake light switch. See how this goes in. So the lock-in appears to be something right there. There's a screw that goes in from there. That holds it in. Okay, where is it? I don't know. Got to figure that one out. Well, I didn't get to the brake bleeding, but the ignition switch is up in the house curing. It'll take an overnight for the glue to dry. Got the new bars on, handle grips installed, they're all built up. Got the clutch switch in. I need to get a new screw for the master cylinder. Somehow that slipped up my last part order, so I got to go figure that out. Brake lines are all installed. Everything's torqued up, so it's ready to be bled. So that's something I'd like to leave a whole day for. So all these new fittings and everything are installed. The way the 35 millimeter line came out is pretty nice. It fits in there nice. I'll massage that around a bit to get it where I want it. Of course, the cables for the throttle, they'll come in later. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are going right now. Maybe one more weekend and I'll get started on this guy. Of course, it needs to have the cases polished. I'm going to take the water pump out and make sure that's all put together correctly, and a new stator. So this will come out as well. I'm still kicking around the idea of pulling the heads off, just because I want to make sure they've all got good rubber in them. So that's my to-do yet.